Hey everybody, Daniel from Spacedock here. If there's one kind of character arc that I always become invested in, it's somebody struggling with the pressures of command, dealing with enormous responsibility and emotional stress, and learning to endure and press on. That to me is the most convincing display of heroism and strength of character a writer can create, and it's why I'm so attached to characters like Captain Benjamin Sisko, Admiral William Adama, and above all, Commander Shepard. Now it's true that the details of Shepard's story can vary drastically based on player choice, but I feel that the specific struggle of command and responsibility remains the same in most playthroughs. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to refer to a female, mostly Paragon Shepard, mostly because I think Jennifer Hale's voice performance in the role was nothing short of astounding, and after playing the trilogy through every path imaginable a dozen times over, this story and performance is the one that means the most to me. Now the first seriously major decision Shepard has to make is on Virmire, where she's forced to choose between saving Ashley or Kaidan from certain death. Now, this decision is such a well-known and famous part of Mass Effect that I think a lot of its power is lost on players who have not played the first game in a long while. But if you really look at the situation, you'll see exactly what I mean. Ashley, and especially Kaidan, have been with Shepard a good while now, and they've been relying on each other in life-threatening situations on a daily basis throughout the entire hunt for Saren. These characters have a powerful bond by now, and perhaps most importantly, their exact placement and duties in the Virmire mission were decided by Shepard. She chose who went to arm the bomb and who went to support the Solarians. Now what would you do if you were placed in that situation? A radio call comes in and it becomes immediately apparent that one of these people that you have become so close to is going to die imminently, and you have to choose who to save right now or they'll both die. Imagine if Captain Kirk received that call and he had to choose between Bones and Spock on the spot. What do you imagine he'd do? I think he'd do exactly what I'd do, and exactly what almost anyone watching this video would do. He'd completely freeze up, and neither of them would get saved, with one of those deaths being his fault. And that's not a flaw, that's just a completely human outcome. It takes an unimaginable strength of character to make that call, not to mention continuing to function and fight afterward. At that moment we know exactly the kind of character we're following. The effect of this decision stays with Shepard throughout the whole trilogy, and informs her entire arc. She makes the kind of decisions that would emotionally decimate anyone else, and then lives with the consequences. By the third game, the choice between Ashley and Kaidan seems almost quaint compared to the responsibility that Shepard has taken on. She's now responsible for the lives of trillions of beings across the galaxy, the linchpin in a plan that is ostensibly the only hope for galactic civilization. Across the course of Mass Effect 3, we see the incredible pressure of this role slowly overwhelming Shepard, as it would anyone. And if you play the game in a certain way, this can lead to one of my very favourite pieces of dialogue ever. If you've been going through the Samantha Traynor romance subplot, you get a scene in Shepard's cabin on the journey to Cronus Station where the final sequence of battles to defeat the Reapers will begin. Shepard wakes from another of the dreams that she's had for the whole game, this one underlining all of the deaths that have been caused by every decision she's made across all of these years. Ashley or Kaidan, Legion, Mordin, the people of Thessia. Traynor innocently asks if she's okay, and Jennifer Hale delivers what might be the single best line of voice acting I've ever heard. She just says, "Everyone's looking at me like I know what I'm doing." And you can tell that Traynor realises immediately Shepard is on the razor's edge, on the very precipice of finally breaking under the stress. And in a way you completely believe, after hours of following the Traynor subplot, she supports Shepard, she puts her back in the frame of mind to go into this final conflict, leaving you with the unshakable impression that Shepard might have understandably lost the will to go on if Sam hadn't been there at that moment. This is exactly the kind of scene that I can't get enough of. Shepard's bravery and heroism is made so much more potent by her humanity and vulnerability, and the clearly outlined fact that in spite of her incredible leadership, she's only as good as the crew she commands. If you've never seen the scene I laid out a moment ago, then don't go and watch it on YouTube. Go and get Mass Effect 3 with the Citadel DLC and all that good stuff, and play a FemShep Traynor run. The scene won't have anything like the emotional power behind it without the context, without the build-up. I hope you'll all forgive my huge ramble about my total adoration for Mass Effect and for Shepard. I can assure you that I'll be right back to spaceships on Tuesday, but hopefully I've convinced some of you to try out that particular playthrough I talked about. After thousands of hours of Mass Effect, that one was the one that had easily the biggest effect on me, and whenever I'm working on my own science fiction stories, I constantly keep it in mind as one of the most powerful pieces of writing I've ever seen in the genre. This is Daniel from Spacedock, signing off.